You now, Melissa.
My favorite fall plant is the hardy mum, and it's just so beautiful. This is one of my favorite colors of mum. But if you've just bought yours this year, don't plant it. Not yet, at least. I'm joined now by Karen Wellman with Wellman Florist and Greenhouse in Quincy. I'm shocked by this, to be perfectly honest. Why shouldn't we plant our hardy mums that we just got in the last month or so?
Well, mainly it's because of the ground being going to be getting so cold. You really need a good 2 months in order for that to establish some roots to get that going. Because when the winter time you got thawing and freezing, and that is more likely to kill the roots. And then you've got a 50-50 chance. You still mulch them a little bit with leaves and everything and leave them like they are through the winter time. Don't cut them down.
If you have something that's established.
That's established. But otherwise you can winter them over in the house. In the garage would be fine, just so that they're not getting freezing all the time.
Freezing on the ground cover. Right. Oh goodness. Well, that's something that I wouldn't have known. So that's something, if you've got a hardy mum that you just purchased, don't plant it. Stick it in your garage somewhere just so it doesn't have that freeze thaw. Okay, if we want these to look nice, longer, what do we need to be doing?
You just need to go ahead and cover them. Just cover them with a sheet, not plastic or a tarp. And if you can tent it, it's better, because if it gets wet and then it gets on the blooms, it'll kind of damage them that way too. So you kind of tent it a little bit, and then take it off in the morning. Don't wait until the sun comes up, or don't wait until it gets hot. Take it off, because then you've got the sweating factor.
Okay, these are all things that you would not know unless you came over here and listened to our tips this morning on KHQA this morning. Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about your rose bushes. I know a lot of people that like to take out their pruning shears this time of year, but before you pull those out, we got some hints for you.
Mel, I'm not sure if you mentioned this already, but once snowfall hits, do you bring the mums in permanently, or do you do the same thing with just tenting them?
Now, if it starts snowing, if you have them still in pots, for example, if you live in an apartment, or perhaps you just haven't planted them yet, do bring them in your garage. You don't want them to go through that snow, the freeze factor, all that different types of things. But if they're in the ground already, they're established, Mother Nature will do its business. Everything will die, but it will come back next year.